do some Enneagram types just not fit the typical stereotype? Well, this might be because of countertypes. And maybe you're a little confused going, what's a countertype, Hillary? Well, let me explain. Okay, so all 9 types have a countertype, and this video today is about the type 2. And so I'm gonna break it down from the top to the bottom of how we get to a countertype. So we're gonna start with your type, which is a type 2. And then you have your wings, which is a 1 and a 3. Those are the only options for the type 2. And if you want more information about that, I've done a wings video for you guys. I'll link that right here. But then we're moving on to the subtypes, which is what we're going to kind of dive into today. And all 9 types have 3 subtypes attached to them. And those would be self-preservation, social, and sexual. And so you have the type, you have the wings, and then you have the subtypes. And from there you have lines and arrows and paths, but we're not going to even go there today. We're going to keep it simple for you guys. So you have the self-preservation, the social, and the sexual, like I said. And one of those is going to be your countertype. And it's actually different for all 9 types. And so you can't just say that the social is the countertype for all 9 types. It doesn't work that way. For you, who's a type 2, your countertype is going to be the self-preservation instinct. And we're going to dive deep into that today. But first, I'd love to introduce myself. I'm Hillary. I'm your certified Enneagram life coach, and I love to teach the Enneagram in the simplest and easiest way possible. I run Enneagram and coaching, where I do a ton of coaching. I do typing and coaching and different things like that. If you want more information about that, I'll link that all down below in the description box. But let's go ahead and dive into today's video, which is a deeper teaching of the type 2 countertype, which happens to be self-preservation. Where I'm starting today is that all 3 subtypes of the 2 deal with pride. It actually is the core weakness of the 2, but it looks differently within all 3 subtypes. And within the self-preservation, they do struggle with pride, but not like the other 2 subtypes. Theirs is actually a lot harder to spot. And so while that subtype does struggle with pride like the other 2, it's way harder to spot it in a self-preservation 2. Self-preservation 2s, this is the subtype that is a little more indulgent than the other 2 subtypes. This one wants to have fun experiences, maybe indulge in shopping and food and activities. This actually can be to distract themselves from their own feelings of self-abandonment and deprivation. And so for the self-preservation 2, sometimes they're indulging because they want to distract themselves from those types of things that they're feeling. One way to tell the difference between the self-preservation 2 and the social 2 and the sexual 2 is the self-preservation 2 subconsciously, I would say unconsciously, presents themselves as a little more childlike and playful and that kind of behavior than the other 2. And if you're a 2 that's ever thought, man, sometimes I feel like I could be a 6, maybe it's because you're self-preservation 2, because that is one thing the self-preservation 2 can look like is the type 6 at times. And so sometimes it's confusing to know, like, am I a 6? Am I a 2? And this might be one of those reasons why. And it can look like the self-preservation 2 being a little bit more fearful and less trusting in relationships. That's kind of what it looks like for them. Another thing about the self-preservation 2 is they are really sensitive and can be easily hurt, especially to anything that might sound like disapproval or criticism to them. That's really going to hurt their feelings. I think that kind of stuff can hurt everybody's feelings, but it definitely is filtered through differently for the self-preservation 2. They are a little bit more tender, a little bit more sweet, but they also can be guarded. Another thing that can help you identify if you're a self-preservation 2 or not is, do you have an invisible wall up? Do you put up this wall? Maybe you're not even aware of it, but a lot of times the self-preservation 2 has an invisible wall that they might not even know that it's up, but other people can feel it when they're around them. And so more than likely it's due to, them, they've been hurt or different things like that. And they've kind of built this invisible wall up. And so that's one thing to look for if you're trying to decide between the 3 subtypes. That's all I have for the self-preservation 2 today. Hopefully this helped you decipher, are you a self-preservation 2 or are you a social or sexual? also known as one-to-one, I should say that. And so those are the 3 subtypes, and we love to know which one you use first. Which one comes first in your life? Which one is your first instinct? And that's how we decide between being the self-preservation, the social, and the sexual. That self-preservation instinct has more to do with self-preservation, right? They're thinking about, their own needs. And then social, they're thinking about socially, what are the needs socially? And then sexual, it's more about that chemistry, that one-on-one piece between them and another person or anything. And so that's a very, very quick overview. I definitely didn't do a good enough job on that. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I've already done a complete teaching on the subtypes of the type 2. It's linked in the description box down below if you want to go give that a watch and double check if you're a self-preservation 2 or you're the other 2 types. So I never like to close these without letting you guys know I do offer typing sessions and coaching sessions and different things like that. All of that information can be found down below. If you're wanting more and you want me to come alongside of you in your journey of figuring out your type, or if you just want coaching, customized to who you are as a type 2, I'm here for you. I got you covered. But that's all I have for today. Until next time, bye guys.